Hi everyone, and welcome to The Human Condition. My name is Arza Youssef, and I'm a human on Earth, making the best out of life that I can. The human condition is something that we all experience every single moment of our lives, and I want to take some time to address what some of those things are. Let's start by defining what the human condition is. The human condition are things associated to the experience of human existence, like birth, growth, emotions, ambitions, conflict, and even our own mortality. Another aspect of the human condition that I think is important to be addressed is the emotional aspect. The different emotions that we all experience, happiness, moments of joy, moments of sadness, moments of heartbreak, and trauma. And trauma is something that is significantly not being addressed. In the social work community or mental health community, it is something that is being talked about more. I talk about it sometimes, trauma-informed care. But as far as general society is concerned, no one's addressing it. No one's addressing the personal traumas they've experienced in their lives. Nobody's addressed it. And when I say nobody, I'm talking about as a general societal conversation. It's something that's really important and it needs to be discussed more. I encourage people to have those discussions in your friend circles and your family circles. It's a huge part of the human condition. And or generational trauma. That's something that your parents have experienced, and a lot of times the traumas that you're going through have a lot to do with what your parents have experienced with regards to trauma from your grandparents. And their trauma comes from the generation above them. So there's this cycle of trauma that gets kind of passed down from generation to generation. And we have a lot of societal problems. If you break it down to the root level, it's attributed to the generational trauma. It's attributed to a level of not healing. Trauma and healing is a huge aspect of the human condition. And our civilization has existed for long enough time. We are a species of war. We are a species of greed. We are a species of power. We are a species of corruption. And these are facts about us, and these are things that we don't readily address. Because we are, most of us are not the decision makers in society. We sometimes assume that the decision makers or the people above are these perfect, like humans, and the reality is that doesn't exist. There are no humans like that. Everyone is going through life. Is going through the motions, is existing within their social structure with certain privileges or without certain privileges, getting by, surviving, all of these different things. And in my experience, I might share some of kind of my background, my upbringing, my where I come from. Why do I have the perspective that I have? But for now, I'm going to leave that alone. Through the experiences that I've had, and I've had a tremendous amount of life experience, not just within the context of my personal existence or my family or my community or my religion. I have gone outside of all of those. I've broken a lot of societal norms within my culture, within my community, within my gender. I have been exposed to and spent significant time with people in all levels of society, and not in just one-offs, but significant time interaction relationships. And I have a lot of a kind of a broad level of experience, and those experiences help shape my lens. It helps shape my lens and my perspective. And because of the significantly varied amount of experiences that I have, that's what kind of makes my perspective a little bit unique. My view on society, my view on humanity is that we don't have good people and bad people. What we have are healthy people and unhealthy people. And I don't mean physically, emotionally and mentally. That is the world if you want to break it down into black and white. And a lot of people like black and white. I'm not a big fan of black and white, but if you want to break it down into a black and white explanation, the world is divided amongst healthy humans and unhealthy humans. And I'll reiterate again, I don't mean physical health. I'm referring to mental and emotional health. A healthy human being is a human being that is rooted in a sense of safety and a sense of understanding of compassion, of love, of morality, of right and wrong, of not hurting others, of not hurting themselves, of sharing, of generosity, doing good for mankind, for their fellow neighbor. This is for their children, for their family, for their friends, for their loved ones, for their significant others. This is a healthy human. Healthy humans operate that way. It doesn't matter their skin color. It doesn't matter their religion. It doesn't matter their political affiliation. It doesn't matter their gender. That's how a healthy human operates from that type of a place. They typically do good. They don't hurt others. Then the other side are unhealthy humans. And again, I'm not referring to physical health. I'm talking about mental and emotional health. An unhealthy human being, through their human conditioning or the human condition, and through their experience, has experienced or interacts with the world through a lens of trauma. And if this trauma is not healed, we have people that are going to hurt others because they're hurting. And we've all heard the phrase, hurt people, and it's very true. If someone is unhappy deeply inside, and they have reasons to be unhappy, they're going to possibly hurt others, physically, emotionally, abuse through words, through physical harm, through violence. When you see, and I have to share that I have compassion for people like that, because the ultimate extreme of trauma, the ultimate extreme of unhealed trauma is violence. Violence against others, violence against the self, and violence against others. So what has happened to a human being for a human being to become that extreme when it comes to interacting with others, that they want to inflict harm? It probably goes beyond just their lifetime, and it probably transcends into their upbringing, who raised them, how their parents interacted with them, their grandparents, how their parents interacted with them. And it goes back to that generational trauma cycle that I had mentioned. So now let's touch base again on the healthy and non-healthy humans. And again, non-healthy humans can be from any skin color, any ethnicity, any religion. And abuse can happen at all levels. For example, if you could be at the top of society and you might have been sexually molested and no one talked about it, and maybe whoever sexually molested that person, they were sexually molested, and that person becomes a perpetrator of that as well. And there's a cycle in that. And oftentimes, if you read about that, you'll find that sexual predators or people that molest, they have experienced that in their upbringing, in their childhood. So there's all these things that happen to people that we take down from one generation to the next, to the next, to the next. And that's all for today. If you enjoyed this topic, I'll be covering this as a mini-series for the next few weeks on Mondays at 7 Pacific time. If you want to stay in touch with me, you can do so. Follow me on Instagram. My handle is @theArzoYusuf. You can always check out my website, www.arzoyusuf.com. I look forward to connecting with you.